Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Here we are. Brand new week. Couldn't be happier about it. Is it great? You wake up on Monday and think, yes! Whole week's ahead of me. Love it. And before you know it, it's going to be Friday, whole week behind you. So enjoy it while you can.
Hold on, we have another one of those annoying weekends coming up?
We do.
The hell?
Seems like it happens a lot. But yeah, there's another one on the way. But we'll get it out of the way like we just did this last one as soon as we possibly can.
All right.
Although it was a pretty great weekend, frankly.
Okay.
Well, except for you. Not for you. It was not a good weekend.
From start to finish, bro.
Dang. So, Nebraska lost. We might as well just get it out there.
Yep.
And now it is. It's on its way to Saturn right now. It's out there.
Overtime loss. Yeah.
To Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt.
Yeah, at home.
At home.
Mm-hmm. Conference. Yeah.
400th sellout in a row.
In a row.
And they spoiled that. Was there some kind of celebration or commemoration of that?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Who knows? I forget.
What does it hold? Like 70?
Oh, gosh.
90? It's a big stadium, right?
Yeah, they keep expanding
and they sell it out all the time. Well, every game. Every game now for 400 in a row, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think it's 90-ish. 85-458.
That's impressive. 400 times in a row. That's a record, right? Nobody else does that. Anybody else sell out every game?
No.
And then don't they? I think they even sell out the spring games and things.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You're waiting to see what next year's team looks like.
Golly.
That's when we knew that Dylan Raiola was for real.
Good thing about that, though, is this year you could still make the college football playoff with a loss.
Yeah, that is exciting to just get to the 12th spot, right?
Yep.
Besides, we weren't using that number 22 ranking, so I noticed we handed it off to you.
Yeah, you gave it to BYU, who is now the 22nd ranked team in the land as they crushed Kansas State 38-9.
There's a guy with the weird punt return that was hysterical.
That's Parker Kingston.
Oh my gosh.
Very fast.
Very entertaining.
Very fast. And then he barfed after his return on national television. I mean, it just was a stream of green puke.
Oh, no.
Because he ran I think ESPN figured out it was 137 yards to cover 93.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, it goes, over his head?
He dropped it, and then he had to chase it back to the 2-yard line, picked it up finally, headed for the other sideline, and full speed all the way to the end zone. So he was wiped out, and then he got sick and left it all out on the field.
Yeah,
as they say. He left it all out on the field. His breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the Gatorade he drank because it was green. I mean, it was like a pea soup kind of thing.
Okay, I got it. How's breakfast working out for y'all? You know what? I tell you what. Let's go full bore since everyone's already enjoying their breakfast with this story. Last week in the Green Bay game, Malik Willis, he audibled into a quarterback sneak and the coach was like, "Why did you do that? We had a pass play set up." He's like, "Because the center threw up on the ball,
and he wasn't going to throw it with vomit on it." So weird.
Oh, right.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, though. Yeah. But so BYU, who has been underestimated from the beginning of this season, and they continue to be. They're underdogs to Baylor this coming weekend.
4-0.
Come on. Yeah, they're 4-0, ranked 22nd. Baylor's not ranked. How are they underdogs at Baylor? Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. Missouri sneaked by, skin of their teeth.
Hold on.
Win over Vanderbilt.
Chris, you got to give crap to Jeffy. Remember I was telling you about Vanderbilt the other day? Yeah, well, that's who they barely beat in overtime.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Kind of embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I wish he were here to
I do too.
face the music.
Because he was very skeptical about BYU's chances with Kansas State, too. And look what happened there.
And then you know what he would say about this Missouri game? A win's a win.
Right. Yeah. Don't worry about how much they won by.
Yeah, the Falcons got screwed last night in Monday Night Football at home against the Chiefs. Pass interference in the end zone not called. So that sucked.
Not good.
And the Braves remain 2 games out of the wild card. So, yeah, great weekend.
2 games out of the wild card.
Yeah. Got a big series against the Mets coming up Tuesday through Thursday.
Well, they better win that, huh?
They better win them, yep. And it's Monday, so it's just kind of the trifecta of the day. Oh, I'm sorry. We decided we like Mondays. That's right.
We love Mondays.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the best day of the week. Because it means your whole work week is in front of you.
I love it.
Just very exciting.
Personally.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody loves work, right? Where would you be without it?
Apparently, Joe Biden doesn't love work.
No.
Since he just kind of handed the presidency over.
Yeah, to his wife?
Yes.
This is...
made it official.
This is... I mean, we've said it before, but this is so Woodrow Wilson-esque.
Sure is.
His wife literally ran the country the last probably year and a half to 2 years of his administration because he had suffered a severe stroke and nobody knew the extent of it except right there in the inner circle. And in the teens, you could hide something like that. You certainly couldn't today, but or could you? Or could you do it today? She was sitting in his place.
This is so weird.
At a big budget meeting. Yes. Watch this.
We're grateful that Jill is here today.
Yeah, why?
I heard that clapping. It wasn't for me. We came in. Here across previous administration, First Ladies have attended these meetings for specific reasons. This is the first time Jill has joined us, and it goes to show how important the issue is, which she's about to speak to the both of us. Today, at the top of our meeting, Jill's going to give an update on the House initiative, White House initiative, to fundamentally change the approach.
Why
and
is Jill going to give this update? Why?
Women's health services.
Who elected her?
I'd like to turn it over to Jill and for any comments she has.
Okay, bizarre.
Listen to this.
It's all yours, kid.
It's all yours, kid.
You know, sometimes the White House.
Oh my gosh, 73 years old. He's calling her kid.
Amazing.
She was.
And why is she there?
Look at that, the head of the table, man.
Yeah. Why is she there? Why is she at the head of the table where the president should be sitting? And why is she even there? Other first ladies have they though?
I love how he tried to justify that.
Yeah. Yeah, because he knows he's going to get flack for
I want
this.
to thank you all for being here.
Wait, hold on. What are you doing?
Well, you're welcome.
Okay.
We're happy to be here. I told you that already. It's Monday, and we're excited to be here. You don't have to thank me.
Show us the presidential seal there, too, on the binder. Look at that. Look, it's got two signatures on it now, Pat. You got Joe Biden's and Jill Biden's under the presidential seal. What is happening?
What?
That's on the binder at the meeting.
What is going on?
I swear, man.
You're not even hiding it.
Everybody gets a chance to play president in this administration, I suppose.
Wow. Why would you? Why is the first lady there? Why? If she were the president, I wouldn't expect him to be there. Mm-hmm. And especially conducting the meeting or delivering some important briefing or update or whatever she was doing there. Why? Why would the first lady be doing that? Why? Nobody elected her to anything. Nobody appointed her to anything. This is incredible.
Am my understanding that this was the first cabinet meeting in 11 months?
Really? The first that can't be.
I saw that.
Who said that?
It was one of the Twitter reporters, and I was like, "What?"
First cabinet meeting in 11 months? We'll have to look into that because that can't. I mean, if that's true, jeez. I mean, they've already destroyed the country as much as they possibly can. I guess they're just trying to finish it off now. And at a weekend event,
Steve Cortez,
I'm seeing this.
At a weekend event, Biden completely forgot who he was introducing, and then he gets pissed about it.
Right.
And watch this.
So I want to thank you all for being here. And now, who am I introducing next?
Uh-oh.
Who's next?
Oh, God. Jeez. Who's next?
Modi, what the hell is his name?
Distinguished guests, the Prime Minister of the Republic of India.
Man, who jumped up to save your bacon, old man.
Wow.
I would have just sat there.
How awkward was that for the Prime Minister of India? Holy cow. He must have been like, okay, I better move up here so he doesn't.
Been hysterical if he just stayed in
he
the chair.
doesn't yell at me.
Who's next? We told you who's next. Are you serious? You can't. He didn't know. He didn't know. I mean, who would obviously be next if the Prime Minister of India is there? What, are you going to introduce the janitor?
And that was
Crazy.
a wide angle. I should have sent in the more zoomed in one, because when he
he's
does
pissed.
this, he goes like this. His stupid dumb self, like like a robot. Like he has to turn his whole body.
Man.
Yeah,
well,
you up here.
That's how spry he is. Crazy.
Such
Jeez.
a piece of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, the vice president, Kamala, shocked voters on the left last week when she said she was a gun owner. Here's Representative James Comer with a follow-up question for her.
Well, look, I don't think anyone believes that Kamala Harris is a gun owner, but if she is, she needs to tell the American people what type of gun she has. Look, This is all about crime. And when you look at the polling, Biden and Harris are getting killed in the polling with the issue of crime, which is a huge issue in the suburbs, and it's definitely an issue in urban America. So just like Kamala Harris has flipped on the issue of wanting to have a southern border wall now, when she used to say it was racist, now she's trying to imply that she's scared like everyone else, so she has a gun to protect her family.
Exactly right. And by the way, anybody else sick and tired of seeing the Kamala ads during football games?
Oh, gosh.
She is spending a fortune right now. She is outspending Trump by, 10-1 probably. I haven't seen the official stat on that, but it's got to be something close to that.
Well, and
Driving me out of my mind.
well, I think the real concerning thing is that we're in Texas.
Yes, and we're seeing it this
If
much.
we're seeing 10-1,
And not only are we in Texas, but I'm seeing the all red commercials, the guy running against Ted Cruz.
yeah, constantly.
All the time, almost every break.
But Ted's
You
pushing
got to
back.
call an all red commercial on.
Yeah.
And they're doing this Ted Cruz banned abortion thing. Wait, what? Ted Cruz did not ban abortion. It's asinine.
Yeah, but
And then on one ad, there's a mother saying that she can't believe her daughter has grown up with less rights than she had. Wait, the right to murder a baby? That's the right you're so worried about?
that's an irony right there.
Not First Amendment, not the Second Amendment, not privacy, nothing. You're worried about your daughter's ability to take the life of a potential granddaughter or grandson that you might have. That's what you're worried about. Okay. I mean, it's insane how important abortion is to these people. It's nuts.
Yeah, and despite the ad blitz onslaught from Kamala Harris, just released this morning, New York Times Siena polls, battleground states, the three that I saw, I think there's only three from the article. It's looking good, right? Look at that, huh? Arizona, Trump +5.
Okay.
Georgia, Trump
+4.
+4. North Carolina, Trump +. I don't like North Carolina anymore. I'm really terrified about North Carolina now because of Mark Robinson's weird chat room stuff. I'm afraid might depress Republican
I hope
turnout.
not. I hope not.
That's some weird stuff that he is reported to have written in chat rooms years ago.
How many years ago? Was this like a 30-year ago thing?
10 or so, maybe.
Okay.
What was it, 2012? Yeah.
It doesn't matter when it happened. It's like it was today because he'll suffer for it like that. But don't make the rest of the party suffer for it is the thing.
That's what I'm concerned
That's
about.
the thing. Yeah.
But Virginia also looking good for Trump now. That's
Good.
not on that. So
Yeah, I think it's starting to equalize after all the hoopla around her stealing the nomination and then the convention, and now it's starting to equalize a bit. All right. You don't need me to tell you that life is precious, right? That it could all get taken away in an instant. That's why I keep a 4-week emergency food kit from my Patriot Supply in my home. Now, beyond that, not only do I have the emergency supply, but I have a longer period of time for more people than just me. So we've got like a 4-year supply. But you don't have to do that all at once. You can start here and just get prepared for almost any eventuality. Now, a year supply would get you prepared for virtually anything. But 4 weeks, that'll take care of most stuff. And it has everything your family could need during a crisis. Comes with over 2,000 calories per day. There's enough to go around during times of social unrest, government crackdowns, or, heaven forbid, an attack on our homeland, a pandemic, whatever the case may be. The food lasts up to 25 years. Ready whenever disaster strikes. We've seen mass panic in our lifetimes, and some of them weren't that long ago. You want to be prepared if there's something wrong with the supply chain and you can't get food at the grocery store. Right now, you can get $50 off the same 4-week emergency food kit that I keep in my home. Go to preparewithpat.com, save $50 on your 4-week emergency food kit, and My Patriot Supply will send it over as fast as humanly possible. My order showed up, I think, in a day, and it shipped for free. Get your 4-week emergency food kit now at preparewithpat.com. That's preparewithpat.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Out on the campaign trail, J.D. Vance showed up at a grocery store. Here's what happened there.
Eggs, when Kamala Harris took office, were short of $1.50 a dozen. Now a dozen eggs will cost you around $4 thanks to Kamala Harris's inflationary policies. Wow. Pennsylvania actually has seen some of the worst grocery price increases of the entire nation. And again, it's because she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Explosion Act. I think we want Pennsylvanians to be able to afford groceries. We want our young families to be able to buy food at a reasonable price at the grocery store. And the only way to do that is to get back to common sense economic policies and fire Kamala Harris. This is a person who's presided over $1,000 increase in monthly expenses just to afford the same life you could have afforded 3.5 years ago. It costs you over $1,000 a month here in Pennsylvania. We can do so much better. We certainly will. And as the father of a couple of kids who eat a whole lot, we certainly need to do better for the next generation. God bless you guys.
I mean, that way to boil it down. $1,000 a month more under this administration.
That's a lot.
And
it seems like a lot.
Seems like it's a low number too.
Yeah, it's nuts. And to emphasize that point that Vance was just making, Tampon Tim apparently endorsed Donald Trump over the weekend.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Huh.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
Thank you. Right. He's right. We can't afford 4 more years of this. So amazing that they're trying to pin that on Trump. It just doesn't make any sense. Right. We can't afford 4 more years of this inflation. Amazing. Then there's some video of Kamala Harris on Jimmy Fallon's show making the rounds. She bragged about the Green New Deal and banning fracking. So this must have been 2019, 2020-ish. Here she is.
That's why I am committed to passing a Green New Deal, creating clean jobs, and finally putting an end to fracking once and for all.
Oh wow.
Oh, God. Mama Kamala just don't give a frack.
Just not funny.
Oh, so ridiculous.
Kamala just don't give a frack.
Cute.
That's what the man said. Good stuff.
That's why all these shows are suffering so bad, because they're so awful. They're just cringeworthy. I mean, that is awkward and painful to watch. Really painful to watch.
So she had that determination, that principle, because remember, she hasn't changed her principle. Is that what she said, right?
Her values haven't
changed. Thank you.
Yes.
And she wanted to end fracking once and for all, but now she's cool with it.
But now fracking's great. Yeah, it's fine. She's got no plan to ban fracking. But her values haven't changed, so she's just simply trying to get elected. She's only saying these things to be elected. So, I mean, that guarantees that you know what the deal is here. Yeah. If her values didn't change, then she's only changing to be elected, and she's going to go right back to it all.
Yeah.
That's her value.
And remember, she was there supporting the Green New Deal, which they gave the nickname the Inflation Reduction Act, but I appreciated the new branding by J.D. Vance, the Inflation Explosion Act, because that's exactly what it did.
Sure did. I mean, $1,000 more per month in grocery cost. That's crazy. Is it $1,000 a month or $1,000 a year? He was saying
a month.
It is a month. Wow. I mean, people can't afford that. No, can't do that.
No, and even and study after study has shown that even when you factor in your pay raises and the average wages now have not kept up with the rate of inflation at all. And keep in mind that they're not even measuring the numbers the way they used to. So it's actually worse.
No, they have every advantage. They've changed the rules. They've changed the way they calculate everything. And still, it's bad. And people can't be fooled by this. They know how they're doing. They know they're getting less for their money than they used to get under Donald Trump. They know that. And every time you pull up to a gas pump, you're reminded of it. And even though it's gone down somewhat from their highs, it's still a lot high, like $1 per gallon higher than it was under Donald Trump, depending on where you live. It might even be more than that. But, of course, Kamala is for fracking now, apparently, as are other Democrats who used to be against it. Here's Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman.
About fracking. In 2016, you called it a stain on Pennsylvania. In 2018, you said you don't support fracking at all. But then in 2022, you said you absolutely support fracking. Senator, what exactly do you like about fracking now?
It's strange for some weird gotcha, kind of taking quotes out of context. And here I am now. I'm a United States senator, and I won by 5 points, a record margin back in 22. And again, it might be an issue in fracking, and I fully support fracking. So does the Vice President Harris. And now, if you want to have a serious conversation about policy, then I would challenge Trump and Vance to have one other than talking about eating pets.
And we'll have plenty of questions for Senator Lindsey Graham. There's no doubt about that. But to the point, what do you now like about fracking? You say you're not going to ban it. Right. You support it now.
What do you like about it?
They're eating dogs. They're eating cats. Again,
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
He's relapsing.
Yeah, he's back to his old.
No. We got to get an update on that. Fetterman 2.0 is regressing. We're going to need an update.
Oh, man.
I
would
just
go ahead.
Really like the 95, 95, 95.
Okay, so there you go. Made as much sense as they're eating cats, they're eating dogs.
But I asked you about fracking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just deflect, and don't answer. That's what Kamala's doing. That's what he's doing. That's what they're all doing.
Yeah. Which do you think has to be updated more often? The software that's running John Fetterman or our computers here at work? See?
That's a tough one.
Flip that coin.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Also, Hillary Clinton wants you to know what this election is all about.
Oh, good.
This is an election not just between two people, two tickets, two parties. It really is an election between democracy and autocracy, freedom and oppression, but also between leadership that wants to bring us together, to do big things, to demonstrate America is fully ready to be as prosperous and as focused at home and leading abroad, because the world needs that. And so the contrast between the two visions of our future could not be more stark and different.
That's true.
I think Kamala's campaign has demonstrated, as it's already been written and talked about, a level of energy, even joy.
Even
the contrast is the Trump campaign. It's dark. It's dystopian.
Oh my gosh.
It's filled with attacks on different kinds of people, finger pointing and scapegoating. That's a very different view of who we are as a people and what we should aspire to.
We really don't know what Kamala's campaign is all about. She won't say. And she's also too busy to say, apparently. I mean, that's what her people keep telling us. She can't do interviews, and she can't discuss policy because she's too busy. Doing what? Do you know that that's part of the campaign, to do interviews, to explain policy positions, to tell the American people where you stand and why you're standing there? And when you're in a completely different place right now than you were in 2020, we deserve to know what happened to change your mind on all of these issues so that we can trust that this is where you really stand now. And she won't do it.
No. She's been the de facto nominee for over 2 months now, has not done a press conference.
Or, she did one-on-one, right? She did one.
She did the local one in Pennsylvania.
The local one, yeah. And she was terrible in that. So that's why she doesn't do any.
But that wasn't one-on-one. She had Tim Walz holding her hand there for that.
Right, yeah. As far as being by herself or just being the only one being interviewed, she hasn't done that except for the local person.
Now, she did accept the CNN invite for another debate for, I think, October 23rd. Is that right? But Trump is saying
no.
No, thanks.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Or she'd do it again. One more time. Come on. Come on.
For old time's sake. and, honestly, you could make the case to Trump, hey, remember, it's the same rules as the CNN debate. And just remember how much fun that was, Donald, with Biden.
Right.
Because they actually did a good job with that.
Yeah, they did.
So
surprisingly good. Certainly compared to ABC, who, I haven't heard, we heard the definitive answer on the affidavit that
I need to get an update on that.
Was released.
Have you heard anything this weekend? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't either. So
I'll check on that.
But everything the person alleges is obvious from the actual debate. She was never challenged. Trump was all the time. Now, whether or not there was an agreement in advance that would be the case, I don't know that even matters. We just saw the fruit of it. They did it either spontaneously or in advance. Does it really matter? Because they did, in fact, do it, and everybody knows that. All right, let me tell you about Lumen. What exactly is Lumen? Well, it's the world's first handheld metabolic coach. It's a device that measures your metabolism through your breath. How cool is that? And on the app, it lets you know if you're burning fat or carbs, and it gives you tailored guidance to improve your nutrition, your workouts, your sleep, and even stress management. Really awesome. All you have to do is breathe into your Lumen first thing in the morning, and you'll know what's going on with your metabolism, whether you're burning mostly fats or carbs. Of course, you want to be burning fat, right? So this lets you know what's happening in your body. Then, Lumen gives you a personalized nutrition plan for the day based on your measurements. That is really cool. You can also breathe into it before and after workouts and meals so you know exactly what's going on in your body real time. And Lumen will give you tips on how to keep yourself at the top of your game. It's fantastic. Your metabolism is your body's engine. It's how your body turns the food you eat, into fuel that keeps you going. And it tells you when you're actually burning fat, which is incredibly helpful. So if you want to take the next step in improving your health, go to lumen.me/Pat. Lumen, LUMEN.me/Pat, and get 15% off your Lumen. That's LUMEN.me/Pat. Lumen.me/Pat, and get 15% off. And thanks to Lumen for sponsoring this section of the episode of Pat Gray Unleashed. We got much more on the way for you coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. 888-900-3393, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Over the weekend, we hosted right here in this building. What's it called? Narratives in American History or something? Art, literature.
Great American
West
thing. Niner.
Anyway, it was a really cool art exhibit.
It's so good, man.
Glenn exhibited a bunch of his paintings, and then he invited 30 of the best artists in the United States to join him, and it was great.
Sure was.
People came from all over the country.
I am not an art guy by any stretch.
Me neither.
And I loved so much of this stuff that was out here.
It was really good.
And it was so well done, interspersed with all the history pieces. So it was like a museum and an art gallery mixed together. And the artists were so great to talk to and just learn about. Do you see how many of these paintings sold?
I was just walking through before the show looking at that.
Which one did you? Which one did you?
I was just going to ask you guys.
$25K on.
Which one did you guys drop money on?
I'm not going to say because then it endangers my security.
Okay.
I mean, these.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you there.
Keep that kind of close to the vest. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But there were some really expensive paintings, and a lot of them were sold.
Yeah.
I noticed one guy in particular bought a lot of them.
Oh, the same name on all of yeah.
Yep.
I saw that name a lot.
Yeah. Don't know who that is, but
okay, it was me.
We should Google.
It was me. I used my pen name.
Chris Cruz.
Yes.
All right. But really beautiful art. Really awesome.
I hope he does it again.
I do too. It was really fun and well attended. I mean, again, I talked to people from Alaska, from Ohio, from all over California who came here specifically for this. And I think they really enjoyed it. It was
Wait, let me
awesome.
double check. Was the name Travis? Because that's my father-in-law, and I know he likes to go a little bit crazy.
I don't know. I don't think I ran into Travis.
Okay, good. Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And by the way, a shout out to Megan, who goes by Pat's Peanut Gallery on Twitter. She brought a gift to me up here because the other night I used my footrest / cinder block to kill a wolf spider that was crawling through here. And this is a heavy dude. Good Lord, this is like 3 times as heavy as the original one. She brought me a brand new cinder block since
to drop on spiders.
Yeah, because the other one it gave its life in the service of killing a spider.
Okay.
So thanks for coming down here.
Did you wipe the goo off the original one? Because
it's underneath. I know where to.
Okay. Good.
Trust me.
Good, because I don't want to touch spider goo. That's gross.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. But hopefully it'll happen again, and we'll let you know if and when, because it was really great. If you missed it, don't miss the next one.
Yeah. And how about that Yoda painting out there?
Love that.
Oh, my gosh.
Love that. Somebody interesting happened to buy that, I noticed. Did you see who the purchaser was?
Did Glenn buy that one? Yeah, okay. I knew his name was right around there.
Yeah.
So where's it going to hang?
I don't know. I'm hoping here.
Oh,
I was going to say somewhere in this room.
In the studio.
Because it's really cool. Really. I mean, some of those paintings were... you couldn't distinguish between the painting and a photograph.
Yeah.
The guy who did the Lincoln Memorial thing was... It's just incredible. But
what was your favorite? If you had to walk out of here with one of them as a parting gift, what would you have taken, do you think?
Man, I don't know. That'd be tough.
Reagan. The Reagan photo with the little kid saluting him.
Okay.
Would have been yours?
Yeah.
I think I would have gone with the Abraham Lincoln one, which I know you wouldn't have chosen that particular one.
Don't make this about me.
Why do you hate him so much?
I have many
Because he's from the South.
Oh, my gosh.
Why?
Did you ever read that book by Professor De Lorenzo?
The anti-Abraham Lincoln book?
Oh, my gosh.
No, I never read the anti-Abraham Lincoln book.
Let's not get distracted here. We were talking about paintings. And I would.
Which one would you have taken?
I would have taken. Well, first of all, the chick with the rifle is. Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
The Yoda one is incredible. The lightning one that was over here.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Incredible. But it's the George Washington after the Revolutionary War.
Oh, yeah.
Surrounded.
I forgot about that.
And I love how
good.
the way they had it set up where he was, it's the one that Glenn's told this story, the story about how, I've lost my eyesight, during the service of our country. Anyway, it was such a powerful moment in American history. But I love the way they had the painting arranged where he's kind of looking toward his glasses that were on display out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm telling
Really
you, the
cool.
way it was set up out there with the art and the history.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It really was. It was brilliant. It's why Glenn Beck was voted the number 100 person in art back in
most influential
2002.
Right?
Yeah, the 100th most influential person in art.
I think you just say one of the top 100
Right, yes.
influential American artists.
I think he'd be much higher than that if that came out now. He should be anyway.
Especially
Should
after
be.
this weekend.
Yeah,
Such
it was
a great event.
incredible. Well, even in this climate of hate and violence that we're experiencing right now, attempted assassinations, Democrats just can't help themselves. They continue to refer to Donald Trump as a threat to democracy. Cut 9.
Time for Democrats to stop calling Trump a threat to democracy.
No.
No.
Fact of the matter is that he is a threat to democracy.
No, I think we should be clear that he is a threat to democracy.
Do you think that the rhetoric, though, needs to be toned down?
I think his rhetoric should be toned down, absolutely.
Not yours, of course.
These are the facts. He is a threat. Period. Point blank.
Oh, point blank.
Wow. These are terrible people. These are evil people. That's just, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for this.
She wasn't in that montage, but did we get confirmation that Rashida Tlaib's pager did not go off last week at her desk? Do we know for a fact that it did not? when all the explosions were happening? We sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You probably would have heard that on the news.
I think she was outside the zone a little bit, the remote control zone. Otherwise, it may have. It may have. On his show this weekend, Bill Maher had a message for his audience.
All right, so let's not bury the lead. The big story this week, they tried to shoot Trump again. Let's not funny. Okay. I'm being serious now. This is the second time this happened. I said this before. There can be no fuzz on this. This is not funny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's not okay. It's not okay to wish it happened.
Right.
Well, this is a problem. Well, I mean, look, this happens too frequently. I'm sorry. This happened on the golf course. A guy was laying in wait, and it happens too much. In fact, besides the shooter, there were two other shooters beside him waiting to play through. This has got to stop.
I mean, he's trying to set up a joke.
Yeah.
But I think he was being sincere.
Yeah.
About the...
However, when it turns out that the setup is a joke, it's, I guess, appropriate for the audience to have laughed. Is it not? They anticipated what he was about to do. So it's tough to blame him. He also had some thoughts on Kamala Harris.
And as a former prosecutor, Kamala was putting criminals in jail back before liberals decided that was a bad thing. That CVS is locking the shaving cream behind plexiglass, Democrats are coming around to her again. Harris would be the first woman president, first black woman president, and first Asian president. But I don't vote for who will be the first. I vote for who will win. And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. In 3 years as vice president, she's been quieter than an electric car. And like an electric car, your MAGA uncle can't explain why she fills him with homicidal rage.
Yeah, I can.
She just does. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
Oh, by the way, speaking of that border, do you remember that video, that dramatic video of all the illegals rushing in at the gate?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Well, Chris, help me out on this.
It's kind of a riot.
Yeah.
At the border.
A substantial number of those. Did you hear this? Are a
Gang
part
members?
of that, the gang members in Denver now?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Very cool.
Cool.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's no problem.
No
It's
sweat.
not a problem. You know, they're in the interior of the nation now. So They're just making themselves at home. I'm sure everything's fine there.
Do they have a
Don't worry
court
about it.
date 10 years out?
Yeah, 12 years out, I
12
think.
years out?
Yeah.
Probably not if they just
It's
ran
2036. They got to come in.
We have good news and bad news on the election front. We have, which do you want first, Pat? The good news?
No, give me the bad news.
The bad news is that in Arizona, we have the Supreme Court there saying that 98,000 people whose citizenship can't be verified. That's cool. You guys go ahead and keep voting.
How do you possibly make that ruling? How is it possible that you can't verify that they're even citizens, but yeah, go ahead and vote?
Well, the Supreme Court of Arizona said the county officials lack the authority to change the voter statuses because those voters registered so long ago, and they attested under the penalty of law that they're citizens. And the justices also said that the voters were not at fault for the database error, and also mentioned there's just not enough time between now and the election. I mean, think of all of the places where you have to go and prove your citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the DMV to get a driver's license, for example. These people are just like, yeah, I'm totally a citizen. Let me vote. Okay, that's cool. The good news is they're going to be hand counting the votes in Georgia. And then the left is like, that's going to take too long. Do you know how long it takes now? Back when I was a kid, they hand counted, and we knew that night who the president was.
Every single time. I don't remember a single instance of a vote growing up where we didn't know that night. Right? Before you even went to bed, we knew who the winner was.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew with certitude. It wasn't like, well, it's too close to call. They counted them all. And we knew definitively who had won. But for some reason, with modern technology, we can't do that.
Well, that's one of the things we've been exploring on my podcast with Jovan Pulitzer, where, boy, you look and you see what these systems are connected to, and you find out quickly why it takes so long to get those votes counted.
Man. All right. Speaking of the radical left, they keep talking about court reform, too. These radical leftists want to eliminate the court's conservative majority by packing the Supreme Court with their own hand-picked justices to get the outcomes they want. So we've got 9 justices. We've never had more than that. What they're trying to convince you of is that, oh, it's not a problem. We've done justices where there weren't 9 before. Yeah, we've done less than 9. Never in American history has there been more, and they want to go to 13 or 15 so that they can pack it with liberals. Even President Biden has gotten into the act, of course, by reforming the court one of his final priorities before he leaves office. But don't be fooled. The game is all about court packing. It's not reform. At First Liberty, they call this assault on the court what it really is, a Supreme Court coup. These extremists want to eliminate the court's conservative majority by packing it with their own justices. And the frightening thing is that come January, their plan could become our nation's reality. We don't want that. Right now, we can stop it if we unite our voices. If we take action together, we can put a stop to the radical left's plan to control the U.S. Supreme Court. The future of the court, of preserving an independent judiciary, is literally in our hands. If we lose the court, we lose the country. That's why we're taking action. We need you to join us. With 1 million patriots like you standing for the Supreme Court, we can safeguard the independence of the judiciary. By saying no to the left Supreme Court coup, we can secure the blessings of liberty and protect our future and our constitutional rights for our children and our grandchildren. Go to supremecoup.com/Pat. That's Supreme Coup, C-O-U-P, supremecoup.com/Pat to learn how you can help stop the radical left's takeover of the Supreme Court.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right. RFK Jr. is on the campaign trail for Donald Trump.
He's got his own issues. Been sexting with that New York Post reporter.
Oh, yeah.
or has she been just... I'm sure it's been one-sided. She's just been sending him unsolicited messages. Is that right? Is that right, Chris?
Is this the one he supposedly had the relationship with?
Yes,
that
the
she
one from
admitted to?
Yeah, that one from the magazine. Yes, she's been sexting him.
Yeah.
And then he's been bragging about it, and that's how they found out.
Who'd he brag about it to?
With us friends and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And then it worked its way back to her editors. They sat her down. She denied, and then she said, "Okay, actually,
All
that's
right,
true.
yeah, we had a relationship."
Is that wrong?
Yeah, I think they considered it to be somewhat wrong. Yeah.
And they went back, actually, though, to her credit. The New York Post went back into theirs and looked at her reporting and said that they couldn't find any bias in her reporting.
She was fair in her reporting.
So
okay, whatever. But apparently, Greg Gutfeld shared a story from RFK Jr. About his past run-ins with Trump.
During a recent event while campaigning for President Trump, he was asked what he thought about Trump as a person, and he shared this amazing story.
I've known President Trump for many years, and on 2 occasions I sued him. He was trying to build golf courses up in the New York City reservoir watershed, and I sued him successfully to stop that. And at one point, my wife, she wanted to go to Palm Beach for the weekend to see my mom over Easter, and I said, I didn't want to buy tickets for all the kids. And she said, what if I find a free ride? And I said, okay. Then she said, I found a free ride. And I said, who? And she said, Donald Trump. And I said, I'm suing him. And she said, he told me he knows you're suing him, but it's okay anyway. And we ended up flying down with him, and I had a great time. I still sued him, and
It's such an interesting story because you kind of separate the friendship from the legal stuff. It's like, yeah, you sue me, I get it, that's what you do. Yeah. But I'm not, like, you want to use my plane, fine. I mean, some people would not understand that.
No, I think I have been able to do that. Otherwise, I would have nobody to talk to at all.
That is awesome.
It was interesting.
That is fantastic. And what a great response by Trump.
Yep.
Self-deprecating. We need more of that from him. All right. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Got some tweets here, so I got to break out the Jackie glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad printer day.
Yeah. By the way, she's turning out to be such a big star now with the Kexi cookie thing. It's just like, we were walking through this, we were meeting fans and stuff, and I'd introduce her. Ah, the Kexi cookie lady! Yeah, she's the Kexi cookie lady. So it was really fun. And speaking of Kexi cookies, just let me mention, we are today dropping another opportunity for you to get the coffee cake cookie for a really limited amount, really limited time. So if you want the coffee cake cookie, today's the day. They'll probably sell out really fast. K-E-K-S-I, Kexi.com. All right. Plus, we're going to drop the banana or the pumpkin bread again next month. In the meantime, we got these tweets constantly crocheting in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Tweets. I saw J.D. Vance this weekend.
Oh.
There was no teleprompter in sight, and he took questions from the media. Well, that's impossible. That can't happen. That can't happen.
Come on.
Right? Come on. That's a fantasy, man. Jimmy Dimples, when the left rockets so far left that Bill Maher is a hero on Fox News, the Blueheads are totally off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. They certainly are. Rowdy introvert. Perhaps CNN moderators were more fair during the Trump-Biden debate because they were too interested in swapping out Biden.
Yeah.
Great productions require a dedicated support cast.
How quickly I forgot. Great point.
Right.
Yep.
From Tom Karnick. Pat, I was hoping you were able to purchase a Hunter at the art gallery. Hunter Biden.
Where that?
Yeah.
I missed that section of the gallery.
Did we display any hunters?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, boy.
No. We had one guy who I guess should probably remain nameless, but one guy bought 19 different paintings. Pretty amazing. And thank you for that.
In hindsight, you should have been pitching that guy Kexi cookies.
Yes!
Hey, bro.
Oh, yes!
Hey, I see you got
What a
some
great point. Hey,
money
I see
to
you got
spend.
some spendable income. I've got a cookie company that you should have. Missed opportunity.
Man. 19.
New Hampshire Pathead. I would have come to the art show in Texas. However, I have sensitive skin. My dermatologist advised against visiting within 37 miles of the sun. Yeah, so I think it might be about 40 miles away now because it backed off a little bit. This week we're just going to be in the 80s. That's all. Just the 80s.
But upper 90s over the weekend. That wasn't fun.
No, it's not fun. It's September. It's late September. Can we please, for the love of heaven, have some cooler weather? Please. By all that is holy. But the answer is no. Well, actually, we do have cooler weather this week, so that'll be nice. All right. We're talking about Trump and the campaign and the things that are happening around the country with RFK Jr. and his thoughts on Trump that were great, really fun. That as he's suing Donald Trump allows him and his wife to take his private jet to an event. How cool is that? It's amazing. But here's Trump on the vaccine.
On COVID, you frequently say at your rallies and so on that you don't feel like you get enough credit on COVID. But by nearly every assessment, the CDC failed miserably at job one. And yes, the COVID vaccines were developed in record time, but as we now know, they don't prevent infection, illness, or transmission, and they have very potentially serious side effects. Do you think that maybe they were approved too fast? And in hindsight, based on what we know now, what would you have done differently?
Well, I think they're doing studies on the vaccines, and we're going to find out. And it'll come out one way or the other. But I really had a mandate to get vaccines done, and I got them done very quickly in record time. The Democrats love it. You know, the Democrats love it, and the Republicans don't. It's very interesting. The vaccines, they love it. I have a friend of mine who said to me, why don't you talk about the vaccine, what you did with the vaccine? He's a Democrat, but I'm sure he voted for me. He said, what you did was the most incredible thing that any president has ever done. You've saved hundreds of millions of lives all over the world. And this was just recently, very smart guy. He said, I don't understand why you don't talk about it. And I don't talk about it. But if you go to Pfizer, if you go to some of these companies, they have charts and they have all sorts of statistics. And I say, why don't you release those statistics? Let people know. But I don't talk about it. I can say this, the Democrats would love to claim it. The Republicans don't want to claim it. But it'll be determined, I'd say, over the next 12 months. I say this in terms of overall, I think I did an amazing job with COVID. I never got the credit for it. Remember that more people died under Biden-Harris than died under Trump. And they had a much easier time because when it came in here, nobody knew what it was. It came from the Wuhan labs, which I always said, but nobody really knew what it was, where it came from, nothing. They knew nothing.
Right. Well, he explained why he doesn't talk about it. His base doesn't like it.
Yeah, but
the base doesn't really, we're not crazy about the vaccine, and especially the way it was administered and the mandates that came from it.
But see, that's the difference between Trump and Harris. He sat down. He talked about that.
Yeah, right.
It's not his strong suit. And he addressed it head on.
He sure did. Yep. And a pretty good explanation. I mean, Democrats are in love with it. They do love it, even though it's been proven not to really be that effective.
And I think if you have an RFK on your in your administration, make America healthy again. How could that not be a part of what you're going after?
Should be.
I would hope.
It should be.
Hopefully he gives him, that kind of influence. One of the things here that this audience would appreciate, Pat, is Trump made an actual pledge this weekend that I think everyone listening here would appreciate. Can we please play clip 12 where he was in North Carolina, Donald Trump, and talking to a specific group of people, and I think you will appreciate this.
Member of the Lumbee tribe, a friend of mine and a friend of ours, John Cummings. Where's John? Thank you, John. John is a real supporter. We appreciate it very much, and we're going to make sure that you guys are okay, because they have not been treated properly by this administration, as we know. Thank you. You can tell everybody the Lumbee tribe has been wrongfully denied federal recognition for more than a century. Only a century? That's not that long. Century? It's 100 years. That's not that long. But no, we're going to take care of it. We'll take care of it right at the beginning. All right? You can tell them.
Okay.
Biden and Obama promised remedy that they want to remedy the injustice, but they never did it. They broke their promise. And today I'm officially announcing that if I am elected in November, I will sign legislation granting the great Lumbee tribe the federal recognition that it deserves.
Yeah.
Okay? You'll be all set.
Be all set.
Say hello to, and I got to know them. They're great, but unfortunately we weren't in office when that happened, but they treated him very badly. Thank you very much, John.
Does Rhonda Locklear know about that?
I hope.
Is she aware? I wonder.
My name is Rhonda Locklear.
Right.
I'm from Pembroke.
Pembroke.
And I'm a member of the Lumbee tribe.
Member of the
North Carolina.
Lumbee tribe, North Carolina.
I have 2 children. And like any mother, I want the best for my boys.
Okay.
Jacob, my oldest, is a transferring student to UNC Pembroke.
Oh, boy.
And Isaac is in the 8th grade at Pembroke Middle School.
Okay. What's the problem?
Like most families across the state who either don't have access to high-speed internet or who can't afford it. We were stuck with dial-up service in our home.
In your home.
Until 2 months ago.
Until just 2 months ago.
I feel that this has put my family, my sons in particular, at a severe disadvantage.
Well, it has.
Then vote Trump.
Isaac depends on the internet to complete his assignments for school.
Surf porn. Don't forget.
He often uses the internet to work on reports, projects, or often, at times, to just do research.
Oh, research. Research on.
I watch him struggle
on the internet?
with the dial-up service and observed him get frustrated.
Oh, no.
Because he could not move around on the web like he likes and needed to do. Seemingly easy assignments took him hours to complete.
Oh, no. This
is very
heartbreaking.
disheartening to watch.
Yeah.
Isaac got very upset, discouraged, and frustrated because he could not do what he needed to do.
Whatever your name is.
Locklear. As a mother, it breaks my heart and causes me to feel that I have failed him in some way.
You should feel that way because you have, and you did.
That's a 55,000 member tribe. How many of those are of voting age? That could be very useful in North Carolina for Donald Trump.
Right. Okay. Lumbee tribe, you know who your boy is.
Yeah, I meant
Donald Trump.
I just meant do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing.
Do the right thing and give them federal recognition. Seriously, though, that is that's interesting, huh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
I like it.
The Lumbee tribe comes up all the time. This isn't the first time it's come up since, this particular plea from Rhonda Locklear. It's happened multiple times where they've talked about the high-speed internet thing because it did go through, right? They got the 20 million or whatever it was.
It went through from the Obama administration before that clip happened.
Yeah.
And they had already bought the ticket and they were like, look, we got the ballroom already booked, so just come here and say it anyway.
Yeah. And she did. Also, actor James Woods reminded us over the weekend that in addition to being Joe Biden's border czar, Kamala Harris was also put in charge of artificial intelligence a couple years back.
And I think the first part of this issue that should be articulated is AI is kind of a fancy thing. It's, first of all, it's 2 letters. It means artificial intelligence. But
which you have
ultimately what it is it's about machine learning. And so the machine is taught.
Yeah.
And part of the issue here is what information is going into the machine.
Right.
That will then determine, and we can predict then, if we think about what information is going in, what then will be produced in terms of decisions and opinions that may be made through that process.
Terrifying. Thanks for reminding us.
Yeah.
Don't put the government in charge of AI.
Wow.
That's what they want. They want your opinion manipulated.
It's scary enough that Google's in charge of their AI and Apple's in charge of their AI. That's scary enough. The government getting involved, that can't lead to anything good. It just can't, and it's not going to. So just be prepared for that, because that's going to be a problem. Imagine if you had the ability to just wave your hand and make abortion no longer be legal. Imagine all the lives you could save in that moment. Sadly, that's not the reality we live in right now. But the good news is you can save unborn lives by donating to preborn. You know, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, everybody was so excited, and rightly so. We should be excited about that. However, in the states that have abortion now, they just made up for the ones that don't do a lot of abortions, like Texas. And we, last year, since Roe v. Wade was overturned, had more abortions than before. It's really tragic. The Ministry of Preborn empowers young expectant mothers in crisis to choose life. Preborn has rescued hundreds of thousands of babies through ultrasounds. When a woman considering an abortion visits a preborn center, she gets to hear her baby's heartbeat and meet that precious child on an ultrasound. And it's a divine encounter. The majority of the time, she chooses life for the baby. That's why we're so proud to be affiliated with an organization that's not only working to save lives, but succeeding at doing that. We can't shut down abortions overnight, but we can work together to change the hearts and minds of expecting mothers by introducing them for the first time to the young life that's growing inside of them. If you can help us save babies' lives, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Sarcasm with 0 calories. Returns next.
Welcome. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Did the Cowboys lose again this weekend? I think they did, right?
They did, yes.
You know what it is? It's Dak Prescott saying, "Here we go!"
Oh, gosh.
Every time before the snap of the ball. That is the dumbest, most irritating, get ready, get set kind of
and he doesn't like that
signal.
Deep, gravelly, because he's yelling, here we go.
Oh, it's bad.
I will
it's
say
so bad.
Who's not bad is Tom Brady's getting better and better. That was a quick ascent. I think he's doing a good job.
Really fast.
Yep.
Yeah, good for him. It's picking it up. That's great. But the Green Bay Packers starting to look pretty good, and I think that's without their starting quarterback.
So they take the reject quarterback from Tennessee, Malik Willis, and then they go back to Tennessee and they use him to beat
Tennessee.
Handily.
Yeah, love that. So they're and they lost their first game to the Eagles, but they've won the next 2. So
that means that they're winless with Jordan Love as quarterback, and they're undefeated
without
Malik Willis as
right. Interesting.
Quarterback controversy in Green Bay.
Malik Willis from Liberty. Liberty University. Interesting.
Yeah, you got a big game against the Vikings coming up, and they've looked unexpectedly
good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think they're unbeaten, right? 3-0.
Sam Darnold. When you take the quarterback out of Carolina, it's amazing what you can do with them.
Isn't it, though? Interesting. And, of course, once again, BYU unbeaten on the season. 4-0. And the most optimistic of people other than me saw them 2-2 at this point.
Oh, wow. So on the year where you didn't predict great things, so it's a pleasant surprise.
It is.
I'm just looking at your schedule. You got,
Oklahoma it's a tough schedule. Yeah, still got. We got Baylor this weekend, then Oklahoma State, I think. Utah down the road a little ways. First part of November.
You're starting to feel like you're going to be a playoff team, aren't you?
That's possible.
All right.
It's still a tough road ahead, so they're going to have to play really well to do
luck.
it. But yeah, thank you. What are your thoughts after Nebraska lost? You think they're still going to? They have a chance at the Big Ten title?
I don't know, man.
Probably not with Ohio State and Michigan the way they're playing.
Well, we don't play Michigan this year. So
okay.
Let me just look here. Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana, Ohio State, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Iowa. I don't know.
UCLA and USC are beatable. They've just got beat, right, over the weekend in their first Big Ten games.
Shout out to a listener's nephew who is a good athlete who will be at that UCLA game on November 2nd. I hope they recruit him and he ends up playing for the Huskers. I've seen the tape, and he's a...
What position?
He can play anywhere. He's an athlete, Pat. Quarterback, tight end, linebacker. Let's go.
Wow, good. All right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name or not, so I'll just say it's a very football-sounding name, and if I get a DM that says I can, then y'all should go look at his tape because he is fun to watch.
All right. As if a far-left government controlling AI, as we were talking about with Kamala Harris a few minutes ago, if that wasn't concerning enough, check out what's happening in Britain regarding social media posts. Here's Britain's Director of Public Prosecutions, Stephen Parkinson.
So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material. And then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
Holy crap.
That was absolutely chilling.
Sure is.
And he's just announcing it like it's the best policy that he's ever been a part of.
I mean, that's chilling from start to finish. So,
it is.
Director of Public Prosecutions. Nice office.
My gosh. So they've got police officers whose job it is to scour social media and go after people who post things they don't like. Wow. Oh, that's incredible.
That's
incredible.
And your tax dollars over there in Britain. And of course, we have our own absurdities here, and that's coming. That right there, that's going to be a part of the Kamala Harris administration.
Well, we're going to be talking to a guy who was visited by the FBI because of a post he made, I guess, on Twitter. I don't know. Was it on X or where was it?
Sure.
We'll ask him, but he's coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. And so we'll talk to him. I mean, it's not that far from reality here. It really isn't.
In fact, you recall... In 2016, right, the guy put the meme out there on Twitter that said you can text your vote for Hillary to this number. And that guy actually, has he served time? Where?
Yeah, did they get him for election interference?
Yes.
I think that's what it was. Election interference.
A meme.
Are you kidding me? If you're that stupid that you would follow a meme like that, you shouldn't be voting anyway.
So I know he got sentenced, but I wonder if they went ahead and shame on me for
we'll
not
have to look into
having
that.
the latest on that. But I mean, and you made the point at the time, Pat. That is nothing different than a radio station bit.
Right.
Like, hey, everybody.
Right.
Good
That's what
morning.
it is.
Just text your vote to Hillary Clinton, and then you can stop the wait in line.
Yep.
So according to
they're expecting such a turnout on Tuesday. The Democrats have been assigned to Wednesday to vote. If you fall for that, you should not vote.
Right.
Yeah, so according to this DOJ page, he got sentenced to 7 months in prison.
Sentence. But has he reported yet? See, now Douglas Mackey is his name. And I just don't know if he was
sentenced to 7 months in prison. Hard to believe.
It sure is.
Well, also in Britain, a central bank digital currency is also being discussed for that country. Here's UK Treasury Secretary asked about introducing a CBDC for British subjects.
I really just have a very simple question. And again, if other colleagues want to answer, anyone who's got the best answer, please. What is this CBDC for? Why? What problem is it going to solve?
Look, what's it for? It's to keep track with the reality of how we'll purchase and save and do our work with our goods.
How about that? Don't keep track.
I think your report said that we should proceed with caution, and the government is proceeding, I think, with caution. There's a number of issues around privacy, financial inclusion, whether there's limits, monetary policy, and interest, and the consultation is out on that, and you'll hear more about it tomorrow. But this is about being a modern economy that recognises how our citizens, want to do business, but that it throws up a number of challenges that you'd want to overcome before you decided to proceed. And we are still in that phase of looking at those challenges.
They got nothing.
Talk about signaling the end of Western society.
I know, man.
Those last two clips from Britain are absolutely terrifying. Terrifying.
And they will be here very soon if Kamala Harris is elected.
Yep. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Anyway, happy Monday, right?
Yeah. Hey.
Yes.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. Thanks for being here. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. A little bit of controversy involving Janet Jackson.
Oh, really?
How dare she?
You show her.
How dare she?
What happened?
No, it's so much worse than the wardrobe malfunction.
Okay, so
2005 or whatever that was.
Okay, that's old news.
Can you believe that? It's like 20 years old now. It boggles my mind.
Everybody remembers where they were when they saw Janet Jackson's boobie.
Yeah.
Now, they can't remember who was in the Super Bowl.
No. No.
I mean, geeks.
Why would you remember
NFL
that?
geeks do. But most people are like, I don't even remember.
Was that a Falcons Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
I think it was Patriots Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Was that overtime or something?
Sounds right.
I don't know. I just remember a boobie.
But anyway, she stirred up some controversy with her remarks about Kamala Harris. She's walking back an apology that her people made on her behalf. She commented on her biracial identity during an interview with The Guardian that was published on Saturday. When asked about the prospect of the United States having its first black female president, she cast doubt on Harris's blackness. Well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian. Oh, man. Has she met the United States of America lately? Have you met us? You can't do this. You can't say that. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Harris was born to Shyamala Gopalan and Donald Harris. Gopalan, who died in 2009 at the age of 70, was a breast cancer researcher from India. Donald Harris is a Jamaican economic advisor who immigrated to the U.S. to complete a doctorate degree at the University of California, Berkeley, where he met Gopalan. So that's her parentage. But her comments were very much like what Donald Trump said. So obviously we've got to hunt her down and I don't know, put her on trial, prosecute her to the fullest extent of the law for saying something that we don't like. Jeez. Because Trump said, is she Indian or is she black? She said she's Indian many times. And she has And she has. But you can't, I guess you can't say that now. And certainly if you're a celebrity, a black celebrity like Janet Jackson, you can't say that. But she did. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit in your face. It sounds like, I mean, she's not playing the game for Kamala, right?
Right.
If she loved Kamala Harris, she would have said, yes, that'd be great. The first black president. That'd be awesome. Leads me to believe maybe she supports Trump, which would be nice to have, I don't know, some musical talent that supported Donald Trump.
Whoa.
Wouldn't it?
Whoa, Lee Greenwood, bro. What are you talking about?
Other than Lee Greenwood.
Wow.
Gentleman sat right here.
Right.
He literally sat right in front of you.
Other than Lee Greenwood.
Man.
And Donny Osmond.
Huh?
Wow.
Other than those two icons.
You got Kid Rock, right?
Okay, Kid Rock.
Okay. Lara Trump. She's a singer.
Oh, that's right. Who says Lara besides you?
I do, because I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, isn't it? It's not Laura.
No, it's not Laura. It's Lara.
It's Lara.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no U.
There's no U. No.
In it. So
nice try, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
But all right, so we've stumbled on a couple of celebs that support Donald Trump. Can you think of any others? I mean,
no, you talking about musicians?
Yeah.
So there's the one guy, and then the chick, and then the
one guy and the chick.
Yeah, and then they do the thing, and then
Right.
the microphone thing.
Okay. Celebrities who support Donald Trump. Musicians who support Donald Trump.
And then the guy.
The guy. And the guy for $500, Alex. I'll take that other guy.
I bet people are screaming.
I bet they are.
Favorite. Let's see here. Some musicians who support Trump. Oh, here we go. Oh, musicians. Here we go. Hang on. You ready? Of course, you got Annual AA and Justin Quills.
Timberlake?
Quills? No.
Oh, Quail. Okay.
Azalea Banks, of course.
Of course.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Of course.
There we go.
Okay. Wow.
That's a big one.
Doesn't get any bigger than Billy Ray Cyrus.
Da Baby.
The Baby. Well, why didn't I think of that immediately?
Jason Aldean, Kanye West. I don't want that endorsement.
No.
Kid Rock. I said Kodak Black. Oh, that's right. Lil Pump. Okay.
Lil Pump.
You got to work on that nickname.
Okay. All right.
MIA. Right? That's good. A little paper airplane action.
Don't know MIA.
Sexy Red. Waka Flocka. All right. There you go.
Waka Flocka.
I'm now at the bottom of the article here. I'm at the Contact Us section of the webpage. So I think that's it. All right?
But it's extensive and it's impressive.
That's all you need right there.
I'm just saying. Janet Jackson wouldn't be a bad addition to that.
Oh, did you hear the good news that happened in D.C. over the weekend? The prophet Thomas Massey, accurate yet again with the continuing resolution deal apparently being set up there by Speaker Mike Johnson. We have now removed the SAVE Act officially, and we're moving forward with the all-encompassing CR as opposed to the 12 bills that we were promised from Mike Johnson. This should run through December 20th.
Which is, this is exactly the way he said it would happen, in exactly the order he said it would happen in. Amazing. All right, 888-900-3393. In a minute, we're going to talk to Jeremy Kauffman, who was visited by the FBI. Why? Because of a social media post.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. In fact, we'll get to that in just a second. But first, is your teen unsure what to do after high school? If so, then this new 6-week life and career skills course from Praxis may be just what you and your teen need. For the past decade, Praxis has helped nearly 1,000 homeschoolers and recent high school graduates launch their careers without college through their mentorship program. And now they're bringing their expertise to teens with their new course, Discover. Discover is a 6-week self-paced course designed to equip teens with essential life and career skills like building a professional network, making money by creating value, and developing a vision for the future. Plus, it includes a coaching call, a free resume review, and a copy of their new book, Don't Do Stuff You Hate. And right now, for a limited time, they're offering listeners of this show 50% off the course price. So use the promo code UNLEASHED at checkout to get $374.50 off. $374.50. Visit discoverpraxis.com/blaze today to learn more. That's Discover Praxis, Praxis, discoverpraxis.com/blaze.
Pat Gray Unleashed is back.
Indeed. Welcome to it.
By the way, Steve Baker chimes in, and he just sent me a text saying that the guy from Creed, Scott Stapp.
Oh, Scott Stapp? Okay, that's...
And
there you go.
And how did I
There's
forget?
somebody I know.
I'm mad at myself for not...
I love me some Creed.
Counting 50 Cent.
Oh, yeah, 50
Fitty.
Cent.
Fitty is a Trump fan.
Yep.
I love it. Okay. Well, then I'm sold. We got plenty.
And Steve Baker, isn't he a singer? He supports Trump.
Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything.
Is Scott?
Well, Scott Stapp for you
is
right
he
there.
in the studio?
Yeah,
right now?
you'd think so, wouldn't you? You would think so. No, that was me.
Oh,
that was me doing
Shut
Scott
up.
Stapp.
No.
Yeah, right?
That was really good.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all day. Try the veal.
For another 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
all day is relative. You know, I've been here since 3:30, so.
And no follow-ups, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you shut
Just
up
let
and
it
back
lie.
off?
Let it lie.
Why don't you just back off, Chris?
Gosh.
All right, so Jeremy Kauffman's coming up in a second. We got him on the phone, and we have to show you the event, though. Show you the FBI agents who showed up at his house.
Master course.
Just to talk to him about a social media post. Wait, what? So here's what he did.
Hey, how can I help you?
Hey there, Jeremy?
Yeah.
How are you?
Who are you?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Can you give your full name, please?
I'm Agent O'Donnell with the FBI.
Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI? Could you please state your full name, sir?
Could you please stop recording?
No. It's First Amendment right.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Sir, could you stop recording, please?
Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house.
Okay.
I love
broadcast.
Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away.
Yes.
So you can show me your name or ID, you can walk away.
We just want to talk to you.
I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can show me identification.
Amen.
Okay, well, you see our badges.
I need to see. Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name, or I'm not going to talk to you.
You're not to broadcast.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
All I want to do is talk to you about a post that
Don't care what you want to do.
Wow.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here.
Good.
Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with. So then why would you come?
Because you wanted to make sure that there weren't any other
No, you're
threats.
coming because you're part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken, and that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your jobs and go home?
We appreciate it.
You're walking away because nothing we did is against the law, and you guys are heads that try to act like bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. And you go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it, you cowards.
No mercy.
Drive away.
Drive away.
Drive away. You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
And off they go, tail between their legs. Wow.
That license plate.
I mean,
oh no.
And then he waves at the end there.
It waved.
Yeah,
it was
he
a
waved.
good wave. Yeah,
with just one finger, but he waved.
Yeah,
that was sweet. All right, we've got Jeremy on the line. Jeremy Kauffman joins us about that encounter. Jeremy, welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for having me. My mom did tell me that I shouldn't have sweared at them. So.
I bet. My mom would have said the same thing. But it almost seemed appropriate because it was so egregious and so un-American and so unconstitutional. Now, one thing that struck us was that you seemed to know that they were on their way because as soon as they were coming, you knew they were FBI agents. Did they call you in advance?
They didn't call me in advance. My neighbor was actually the one who told me that they were here, and I own both my property and the property across the street, so I think they had been there for several minutes already before I had come out, because I think they went to the other property before they came to the house that I live in.
Interesting. Okay. Now, can you tell us what your initial post was? Why were they even interested in it?
Well, they didn't say what post they came for, and I think it's a mistake for us to speculate because that creates the kind of chilling effect that they want, right? They want you to be worried about what you're saying online.
They sure
and
do.
I will admit, look, I get a little spicy sometimes. I will admit that. I post a lot, but I don't think I said anything that was any different than what celebrities say about Trump or what far more prominent and important people than me say about a president who's actually had multiple attempts on his life.
Right.
So what's important to recognize in terms of this event is that this is entirely a one-sided thing.
Yes.
Where they're going to investigate in one direction but not the other. And so it's for my friends anything, for my enemies the law. So they're going to use this as a harassment tactic. And similarly, you can see journalistic alignment beyond just these federal agencies being captured because the press hasn't touched the story at all. This video has 50 million views or something like this directly on Twitter, let alone all the replays on shows like yours, right? So this is it's awesome. It's been awesome. Honestly, as a right-wing libertarian, it's been awesome to see more conservatives waking up that this is not the FBI of the 1960s. This is an agency that has been captured by your political enemies and is being used for political purposes. So, but yet the press hasn't touched it. So the press will not cover the fact that the FBI is performing these. Sorry, you guys are the press. I'm the press on X. We're all the press now. Is part of what's cool about this current moment.
Right.
But the legacy press, the press that is dying because it's constantly telling people lies, is unwilling to touch this story.
To your point on we shouldn't address what post it was, I fully agree with that and completely support that because you're right. It does make us concerned about what we're posting online. But suffice it to say that it must not have been anything threatening, right? You didn't threaten anybody's life. There wasn't a terroristic threat. Otherwise, they would have stayed and they would have arrested you.
Absolutely not. There was absolutely no threat made. I mean, I did, like, for example, I don't know there was this post, but I made a joking post about why hasn't anyone tried to assassinate Biden? He's the president. He's in charge of everything. I've known, I'm not saying that that's the post they came for because I don't know what post they came for.
Yeah. How did you must have been pretty confident in your ability to go ahead and continue to record them because I think most Americans would just be intimidated by the fact that they told you not to record them any longer.
Well, I'm part of a culture here in New Hampshire. As I mentioned, I'm a right-wing libertarian, and there are tens of thousands of right-wing libertarians who have specifically relocated to New Hampshire basically to move the state government and as many institutions as possible in our direction. And so that's related to why my neighbors text me. That's related to why I felt confident in doing this, because it's the culture of our community. There are other people in my community who have done similar acts, who record interactions, with federal agents or law enforcement officers. And so that's something that's sort of been instilled into me culturally, that when you're interacting with law enforcement, you take your camera out, you record it, and you have the right to do that regardless of what they say.
New Hampshire's interesting because isn't live free or die on the license plate? Isn't that the slogan? Or did it used to be?
That's right.
Okay.
It is the slogan, yes.
And yet they seem to vote Democrat an awful lot.
So that's pretty interesting. the entire state government is controlled by Republicans. So that we have a Republican governor, a Republican state house, and we have this group called the Executive Council, which is this weird additional executive branch that other states don't have, but that's also Republican. In 2020, New Hampshire voted 65% for a Republican governor while voting barely for Biden. So there is a.
Wow. So it's getting closer.
So there's an unfortunate dislike of Trump here specifically among some New Hampshire Republicans. I don't share that dislike. I will be voting straight Republican basically in November, including for Trump. And I think all libertarians should be supporting Trump in this election. But and we also have a great congressional candidate, Lily Tang Williams. I don't know if she's ever been on your show, but she's an amazing woman, and she has a chance to be our first to add a Republican to Congress this year. In one of our congressional districts.
Oh, very cool. Jeremy, this is Keith Malinak. I think you're probably referring to the Free State Project, which, by the way, I voted for Idaho all those years ago. So I came in second place with what I was going for. But I'm just curious, what day do you remember the date that these FBI agents showed up at your place?
Yes, it was a week ago today, so it was the 16th, and they showed up between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern time on the 16th.
So a week ago, you post this awesome video. Have you heard from the federal government since then?
No.
Wow, not a peep? That's amazing.
Nothing.
That is really something.
I mean, that's a master course. I mean, tell me,
it was.
You certainly had to have practiced that for waiting for this moment, right? Or have there been other instances where you've had to deal with the feds?
One, I do have the blessing of being pretty good on my feet, but I have also practiced.
Nice.
Talking to, sort of standing up to cops or other federal agents when I think I should be. To be clear, most of the time it's totally situational, right? So there are lots of times where I think cops deserve respect and they are doing a service and they're performing actions. Like, I'm not someone who is anti all cops. I am anti some cops. But cops were the ones enforcing lockdowns, and things like this, right? They were. Yep. So I think we've got to. I think conservatives should sort of drop the view of just sort of reflexively trusting these institutions. And this is what's so weird about this moment is these institutions, which used to be neutral, are now almost wholly captured by this blue regime, this blob-like structure. And we can hope that Trump and his team can potentially undo this, but honestly, I don't even know how you undo this. They've created this incentive structure, this self-reinforcing incentive structure where there's not a clear, at least not that I can see. Maybe someone smarter than me can figure it out. But there's not a head to cut off, right? There's not one. This isn't some conspiratorial thing that's being plotted by a small number of people. They've created an incentive structure and a set of memes that don't even allow engaging with the other side, and that encourage all good people should be keeping out anyone right wing from their institutions. Right. And so this filtering is happening in this almost undirected way. There wasn't someone who called up the New York Times and was like, okay, make sure all the Republicans get out, make sure anyone right wing gets out, and we're only going to allow left wing journalists and left wing opinions. But once you reach a tipping point, and you see this in the big tech companies too, where 95% of the political donations are going to the Democrats, and then shockingly, all of the moderation decisions seem to go in one direction. And it doesn't. Once you have this density of people with these shared beliefs, it doesn't require direction to produce these outcomes. The outcomes happen in this bottom-up organic way without direction. So how do you fix it? I mean, you can try to change the incentive structure, but it's not clear even how you do that.
Which are great reasons why this is such a brilliant video and such a great example to others who haven't done anything wrong. And you haven't done anything wrong or illegal if they come to your doorstep like they did with yours, Jeremy, and say, yeah, we're just here to talk to you about a post, when you've got freedom of speech here in this country and you're well within your rights to continue to record them and to chase them from your property without saying word one about your post, as you did. And they skulked off with their tail between their legs. It was awesome.
Yeah. An easy chance to practice. Some of your audience may disagree with me, and that's fine, but I'm very against DUI checkpoints. I think this normalizes an interaction with law enforcement officers that have no cause. Okay, so I'm totally for if someone's driving a little recklessly, you pull them over, they're intoxicated, punish that person.
Right.
But if someone is not has not demonstrated any sign of impairment, I think it is wrong to force a police interaction with them. And so your DUI checkpoints are a regular interaction you have with cops where you are within your rights to basically say nothing to them. They have, you give them your ID when and you can ask questions. Like a great question to ask is this a direct order? So if a law enforcement officer is giving you a direct order, you should follow it. So you say, is that an officer? Is that an order or is that a request? And a lot of what they're making is requests. They phrase requests like orders, using people's desire to comply and taking advantage of that. And so that's a great question to be familiar with. Is this an order or is this a request? Most of the time they're making requests. Comply with orders and don't comply with the requests. And again, when you're on the right side of things.
Is there a place, Jeremy, where people can check out this video if they'd like to see it and show it to people?
It's on my X account, so you can follow me at Jeremy Kauffman.
Jeremy Kauffman. Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks. And thanks for that great example of what to do when the FBI shows up at your house for no good reason. More coming up on Overtime later on.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.